Hang Pro, one of the few Twitter accounts of Takahiro Shiraishi, its profile pictures can be disturbing enough for some. But its purpose was even darker and led to the deaths of 9 women, including some high school girls, in the Zama suicide pact slayings. Complete apathy, choking, and dismemberment to hide the evidence, all coming up on tonight's episode of The Midnight Hour. Welcome back to The Midnight Hour, a show where we examine the various murders, scandals, and other crimes across Asia. I'm your animated host, Ellen Pugh. Now, why am I animated, you ask? Because a certain brand of beer decided to shut everything down, including UTD TV's campus. So for the time being, my physical form only exists in theory. Now with that out of the way, let's get into Mr. Takahiro Shiraishi, a man that is known to allegedly put up advertisements for people to come to his house so he can watch them commit suicide. This is a rather recent case, for a significant portion of the events took place in 2017, so not all the details are absolute. But without further ado, let's get into it. Takahiro Shiraishi was a quiet lad who lived a fairly basic life. He joined the baseball team as a freshman and track team as a senior in junior high school. He then studied at the prefectural high school at Yokohama, which was about the same time when his parents divorced and his mother and sister left. He took on various jobs, including at a supermarket, a food factory, and a pachinko parlor before taking on a more elite job of a scout for prostitution rings. He was a continually quiet man, and one woman who lived with him for 3 months stated that he was, quote, unusually more gentle than ordinary people, so he had a strange obsession with death and suicide. After obtaining an apartment with his father as a co-signer, he set up a few Twitter accounts, including the Hang Pro account previously mentioned. One pinned tweet remains accessible via the Wayback Machine archives and roughly translates to, quote, bullying at school and at work. If you do not go to the place you go to every day and the people you meet, you will be driven mentally more and more. I think there are a lot of people in the world who haven't been in the news but have attempted suicide and feel painful. I want to help such a person. #suicide. These Twitter accounts will be the tools Shiraishi used to lure his 9 victims to their deaths. After leading potential victims to a meeting spot via Twitter DMs, Shiraishi will meet them at a train station so he can lure them directly to his apartment and so that his victims will not back out at the last minute. He will give them alcohol, tranquilizers, and sleeping pills to make them quote-unquote relax before sexually assaulting them, and then killing them. He himself confessed to killing 1 person in August, 4 in September, and 4 in October of 2017. Most of the victims were killed on the same day he met them, and most of them being women in their late teens and early 20s. He allegedly choked his victim until they passed out after the various drugs and then sexually assaulted them. He would then proceed to slice the bodies apart with the intention of destroying the evidence, disposing of his victim's flesh and internal organs but keeping the bones in fear of being caught. The brother of Shiraishi's final victim, Ako Tomura, was able to hack into his sister's Twitter account, leading to the discovery of Shiraishi as her last point of contact. With the help of another woman who had met Shiraishi before, Shiraishi was lured out for the police, who then followed him back to his apartment on October 30th. According to the New York Times, the police were able to arrest Shiraishi after he was suspected of serial murder. Upon entering his townhouse, they were shocked to find several severed heads stored in various coolers within his residence. Shiraishi commented to the police that, quote, it was difficult at first. It took me 3 days to get rid of the first body, but after that, I could deal with them within 1 day. When they finally caught up with him, he even showed the police around his apartment. The police found 3 cooler boxes and 5 large storage boxes with a variety of body parts, including heads, arms, and legs. He also used the neighbor's garbage collection point to dispose of the body parts as well, and has shown no remorse for any of his actions. Upon some of the few media interviews he was granted, he demanded money for any sort of interview. He said, quote, "I drew a line between people I love and care about and other people, being evasive about who other people are." To this day, he still has not stood trial in the usually rigorous Japanese justice system. Was the second psychiatric evaluation being argued about even though he was deemed fit to stand trial in the first evaluation? This, along with other procedural holdups, continued to delay his first court hearing. That is all for today. Thank you for tuning into the Midnight Hour. My name is Alan Pugh, and I'll see you later. Join us next time on the Midnight Hour for more Asian serial criminals along with scandals. But until then, good night.